Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my ridiculousness and my messy room, which has a lot of stuff in it. It's actually not that terrible. It's just mainly like all of this area here that's kind of, and well, even behind my chair. There's stuff stacked everywhere, but you can't see it anyway. I'll draw attention to that now and get that out of the way. Thank you for joining me again. Hopefully, if you wanted to, you watched my semifinal one analysis slash reaction video, and now it is time for semifinal two. And boy, was this one quite different than the other one. So let's just jump into it. First of all, I want to say that the first one, the hosts, I was like, oh, okay, we're just starting to get to learn to meet them as who they are. Hazel and Sandra, they had a very similar kind of camaraderie to Petra and Malin, I think it was her name. But they almost actually feel a little bit closer than those two, and they're getting a lot better. Hazel's dry humor takes some getting used to, but we stan a queen that could do this. She's great. Some of the things she's gotten away with saying, like my favorite instance, I think, was when she went to go sit with Erika Wickman in the green room. And her choice of words, I say that to my husband all the. Or your song is named or called Ich komme, or your song is called Ich komme, which means I'm coming, which is what my husband says every time or at night or every night when I'm making dinner. It's just like, okay, unhinged, but we love unhinged. And during Erika's performance, I was watching the live stream chat, and people were like, I already came. It was a lot of sexual innuendo jokes, but that's to be expected. And yeah, so it was fun. It was ridiculous. It was right up my alley, everything that I love about it. But let's get into things, because this video will probably be about as long as the other one was, which is like almost an hour. So we'll see how things go. So Hazel Brugger and Sandra Struder opened up the contest. Very Swiss names, of course. We had an opening video, Eurovision Unseen, which was very well done. And then it felt like things started a lot faster this time than before. It was like 6 minutes in, 7 minutes in, and that's when the actual contest started, instead of like 10 to 15 minutes opener like other ones have had. So it started even sooner than the previous one, but there was also, I think, one more song this semifinal to perform than last one. Australia. Okay, so Gojo performed. He was nervous. You could tell he was nervous. He didn't hit a lot of stuff properly. The staging was great, but he felt a little like kind of like stiff, like cardboardy kind of. And that probably is just nerves, honestly. Like leading up to everything, you could tell he's there to have fun and stuff. But when it comes down to contest night, when all is on the line, your nerves can really affect you, and I think that's probably what happened here. His vocals, I mean, it's a fun song. It's not one that you have to be vocally perfect with. And it was one of those divisive songs. It was one of the trifecta, as I call them, the 69th edition of Eurovision trifecta, and of course all three of them were in this semifinal. And this is the one that I had the most horses in the race. Was all my favorite songs were basically in this semifinal. So Australia did not qualify, which makes me very sad. I voted for him, and yeah, for those who don't know how the voting works, I'm in Canada, so I count my votes count as part of the rest of the world. So if your country is not taking part in Eurovision, your votes count for as a rest of the world vote, which basically any country not taking part in Eurovision is kind of lumped together, all their votes, as if the same weight in voting as one country that is taking part in Eurovision. So there's a lot more to lose, I guess, because like your votes kind of get lost. I voted for Australia and Ireland and Latvia and Denmark and Finland and Malta. So those were my 6 that I voted for. And several of them went through, which is great, but we'll get to those in a minute. So Australia, I'm sad to see that song go. It would have been fun in the grand final, and it's a second year in a row that Australia hasn't qualified. So I hope this doesn't start a new streak. I'm sad for them, but you know what? It happened. So Montenegro, Dobrodošli by Nina Žižić. Her vocals were beautiful, immaculate. I do think it was probably the staging that caused this. Montenegro's second year back, and again, a second year non qualification. Very sad. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull out again, and that's heartbreaking if that happens. I mean, we might get Moldova back next year, maybe, but if Montenegro's not there, it's just sad, you know. And again, it's the people's choice. I think if the juries were still involved, that song would have gone through, but that would have meant that we would have lost something else. And I mean, that's just the nature of the game. It is what it is. She gave it her all. She was an amazing performer. That thing that they do, like they did this with Breathe as well, with Vladana, that thing in the background, like it's like a hers especially, like a lot of people said it looks like linen. Bad bedding. There must be some cultural specific reason for it, but like I don't know what it would be. If anybody knows, please let me know. But it didn't translate very well, I guess. And it's sad because she was an amazing vocalist. Ireland was next. Another one that I absolutely loved. This song is a banger. It's the earworm of the year. Da, bum bum ba dum bum 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 ba dum. It's also the one that I'm making a parody of, and we'll see how that goes because it's about F-47 in the country south of me right now. So I'll let you figure out who that's supposed to be. But yes, it's such a fun song. Like a Party's a very odd subject matter to some people because it's about Laika, the Soviet dog that was sent up in space and unfortunately passed away just shortly getting up there. But it was reimagined as if Laika was still alive and up there having a dance party and kind of very childlike, whimsical way of thinking about it. And I do like that idea. But I mean, I guess Emmy also like I don't know, her vocals weren't quite on. And you know, there were certain parts where it sounded like she had a bit of an Irish accent, even though she's Norwegian. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just going insane. But I liked the song. The staging was a little childish in some ways, and I figured it would be either Ireland or Luxembourg that would go through. But you know, it is what it is. I had filmed my live reaction to the results. I think I'm going to post that as a separate video before this one, or after this one, probably before. And yeah, we'll see. You can see what my thoughts were there because I had to talk live. But again, I talk a lot in it. You have to cut out a lot of the sound and like even the video part too. Like I didn't want because YouTube copyrights you for dumb things or takes stuff down for it. So in my opinion, dumb things. But okay, Ireland. So that's the first three that did not qualify from this semifinal. Odd that Australia didn't, being in the first. You know, usually they do. Usually or like number 2 is the death spot. So I think people are going to be up in arms about that for Montenegro. And Ireland, you know, coming back after a qualification last year and not qualifying this year, very sad. But they did their best. All three of them did their best. Our first qualifier of this running order, Latvia, you know, this song, people were sleeping on it. It wasn't really one that I listened to a lot, but the staging, the performance really elevated it. You have that wonderful ethnicity in it. The girls are amazing together. The whole bunch of them intertwining their vocals reminded me so much of Vesna, but pulled off a little more sleek. It was like the vision of what AIA was for Spain mixed with Vesna's performance and stuff. And just, I don't know, it was really, really, really well done. So I'm very, very happy that Latvia made it in. And I wasn't going to vote for them going into the contest, but I did tonight or today for me because they were really, really, really good and really surprised me. And I love that. So congratulations to Latvia. I don't think they were considered by the audience poll or the press poll to possibly make it in either. So good for them. Armenia's answer to Imagine Dragons, Parg, Survivor. This song was a lot of people were saying in the comments on the live stream, very alpha male. I mean, he did give that off. He performed it very well. His vocals were really, really, really well done. And he's running around all over the place versus Cyprus, Theo Evans, who was a little breathy, just slightly, in his performance of Shh in semifinal one. This one really worked. Parg's fitness is very, very good. And of course, he's showcasing his body. He's really muscular, very well in shape and stuff. So it works. You have to have that core power to do it. Look at what Loreen did in 2023, like moving around and having that vocal powerfulness. You need that in your sternum. He did great. And I kind of wasn't expecting this one to make it through, but it did. We're getting a lot of different music styles in the grand final, which is great. It's not all just boppy songs. This one has its place, just like Portugal, to some people that like that. Just like spoiler alert, I should say. What was it? Lithuania as well. I was not expecting Lithuania to make it in, but they did. Yeah. So Armenia, good job. Our next qualifier was also in this first part, was Austria, which is kind of a no surprise. JJ was a little pitchy in some parts, but I mean, it's a solid performance. The staging really worked for this. It was kind of a risk, but again, if you don't take the risk, you don't know what's going to happen. When you do take the risk, it could go the other way. Look at what happened with Cyprus. But this song has always been kind of like high up in the odds to potentially win. I still don't know how I feel about that, if I would go there, because statistically, and I think I've said this before, a song that is so similar in style to a previous winner, and let's face it, people will say no, but no, it's true. It's an opera pop song. Nemo had a lot of elements to that in their song last year, which won. So the chances of Austria winning this year, especially with a lot of other jury bait songs, like there's a lot of jury ones, Israel, Austria, who else did I say? Poland, Azerbaijan, sorry, Albania, and I think there was one more, France possibly, are all vying for jury votes. So I don't think it's going to be the juries that choose the winner this year. It probably will be a mix of televote and jury, but we might have a surprise winner this year. I keep feeling that. I know Sweden is currently in the top odds, but the song is underwhelming. It's very underwhelming. It's just kind of an earworm. I mean, that's my own opinion. I think Finland has a good chance to win. I really do. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe Switzerland. Oh, that's the other one. See, the juries are going to be pulled apart in different ways this year, I think. I really feel that. So we'll see what happens. I could be wrong. Anyways, Austria, we kind of expected this. He's very, very polished opera singer. It's not my kind of song, I would say, but the graphics were really good, like with the water effects and stuff. So I don't know how that translated on stage for the live performance, like for people in the arena. And I often wonder that, like, is it better to be watching it from home and being able to be immersed in that? It's kind of like 2021 when Greece did, Stefania did Last Dance. All the people on stage, like live in the arena, saw was green, but we got, the benefit of the effects and stuff like that. So I don't know. I like being able to see all the effects as they're meant to be, and you don't get that live. And vocals, I don't know. There's something about the sound mixing this year. It's just bizarre. And can we say, I have to say this. People were also saying in the chat of the live show that the audience, like, what's with the audience? Nothing's wrong with the audience. It's the EBU. Yes, EBU, I'm blaming you because this is absolutely on you. I can tell. They are using the same technology that they used last year to stop the booing when Israel was performing on the whole thing this year. Malta, like, we know the audience was there saying, serving cunt. Like, they were. You could see it, you could feel it, but you couldn't hear it. And they raised the volume specifically during that song versus other songs. Like, they also did that with a bunch of others. Like, it just didn't feel like the audience was really into them, but they were. You could tell they were. So that is just dumb. I know that people were like, we had, 2022 with Latvia that year. Like, instead of meat, I eat veggies and pussy. Okay, well, whatever. You know what? Eurovision is on at 9 p.m., 10 p.m. their time. So it's well after the watershed, and if there's young kids watching it, who cares? Kids are going to hear worse in school than they will ever see on television. I have this argument all the time. And you know what? If you're offended by words, come on. You're not offended by things going on in the world like war and stuff like that, but you're offended by words. Come on. Come on. Anyways, that's my diatribe. Am I wrong though? Okay. United Kingdom. No, oh no, sorry. Before the United Kingdom, Hazel showcased Basil's over 60 disco. This was ridiculous. And it makes me love her more as a host. My whole hashtag recently is embrace the cringe. And everything about the hosting on Hazel's side is cringy, but it's cringy in the best way. She's also the first host that I've seen actually crowd surf. And I don't know if that was planned, like with the audience, if they told them ahead of time, but like she did it well. And she's comfortable. You could tell she's not scared while they're doing it either. But some of the questions, I think she just came up with them on the spot. And I am very much a similar style host. On the spot, there's a bit of a script to follow, but I am better when I don't have a script to follow. I'm a yapper, as you can tell with the videos. So very well done. She went to a 60s disco, probably the youngest person there, but it works. And I appreciate this. So Hazel and Sandra are very good hosts. And I love their costumes too. They're recycled materials. Like, what a good idea. That's the kind of stuff I would wear. I really would. I would absolutely wear that with pride. And it was just very, very well done. So, okay, moving on. We had our first automatic qualifier, one of the big five, United Kingdom. This song has been getting a lot of crap from people online, and it's not fair. The girls were a little shaky a bit, but they can perform live. Ollie had vocal issues last year with Dizzy. His staging was amazing. Again, it was a risk. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I liked it, but I love the resulting album that came out from it, Polari. I have to say is probably one of my favorite albums of any Eurovision artist ever, along with Kaino's Ikta, what's it called? Okta, which I happen to have right here. I love that. Ruslana, Eric Sade, Sergei Lazarev. There's a bunch of artists that I have their albums. Loreen, I love them so much. But honestly, every song on Polari, especially Beautiful and Archangel, are probably my two favorites. And Language, and there's so many. Heal You, I love them all. So, but anyway, back to this. The United Kingdom. The girls, Remember Monday, did great. What the hell just happened? I mean, people were kind of making fun of them in this live stream chat, saying that about the performance, which is unfair, I think. But, it's the semifinal. They don't have to worry about the actual performance because grand finals, what's going to count. Tomorrow's the jury show for that, I think. And then, so they have to be polished for tomorrow night, Friday night, and for Saturday, of course, for the televote. Televote probably won't rank them very high. Depending on the performance, the jury's, it's probably going to be a mid-table. I don't want them to be last. If anybody was going to be last, it's probably going to be San Marino. And it's not that the song is bad. It's just, who knows? Who knows? I mean, Gabri Ponte has a lot of stuff behind him. Again, Eiffel 65 and Ozone, Dregestat Tinte, and so on. So who knows? I don't know. I don't know who's going to come in last. I mean, even Germany's performance today was pretty good. I don't think they're the weakest of the big five this year. My personal weakest of the big five is Italy. But even he did amazing. It's just the song for me wasn't, until I saw the performance, didn't really mesh. Anyway, United Kingdom, I think they did well. I think they have all the stuff in place to do it. Their performance today, they can probably look back on and say, okay, we need to fix this and polish it up, and it's good. So it's a probably a good thing that it happened in the semifinal. So they're pretty solid. I'm not too worried about them. Greece was next. Claudia Astromata. People were worried about this because of the minimal staging. Again, staging does elevate a lot of stuff, and a lot of countries have money and a lot of countries don't. Some can put towards it, some can't. Look at Ukraine, for example. They're in a war right now. People were bitching and complaining about the staging, but they still made it through. It's the song. I mean, okay, it's yes, it's the song, but it's also political stuff. I mean, I felt that too with 2022. But watching the live for Ukraine, I could see why they made it through. Like it was very well done. The girls' vocals with the guys' vocals were great. And the poor guy, he reacted weird, to some people. He's got anxiety. He's got a lot of problems with public and stuff like that. It's something to work on. We all have things to work on. Nobody's perfect. So stop with the blaming. Stop with the judging of people. Like, come on. It's meant to be a fun contest. And any song, even ones that I don't like Estonia, my lowest one, I mean, I was happy for Tommy. Like he did great shtick on stage. He pulled it off. So good for him. Sweden, not my favorite song this year, but hey, they know how to sell it. Great. It's fantastic. It's just sad that anybody has to leave, before getting a chance to do the grand final. But hey, they performed in the semifinals. They have a chance now to have a brand new fandom, people seeing them and falling in love with their style or their music and stuff. And hey, so you're never a loser. Never. Greece pulled it off. The visuals were amazing, minimal, but the LEDs really sold it. Having that other dancer with her, dressed like her, she's iconic with the glasses. Gave me a Deidre Barlow moment, kind of from Coronation Street sort of stuff. So Greece, I'm so happy that she made it in. When it came to the final 6, and I saw Australia and Ireland and Greece and Serbia and Montenegro and who was the other one? Czechia in there and Georgia. I was like, it's going to be Greece. I knew in the back of my mind. I wanted it to be Ireland. But come on. We knew it was going to be Greece vocally. It could have been Greece or Georgia, but there's a lot of discourse with the Georgian entrant this year. So Greece. Next up, we have Lithuania. All right, this, I have to be honest with you. I've been sitting watching this on my computer, but when this song came on, I knew it wasn't really my favorites, and I had to use the bathroom. So I did have the contest on. I put it on my phone, and I brought it up with me, and it was just kind of one I wasn't paying too much attention to. The style of music, again, I'm not a rock fan, really. But you know what? They were solid with their performance from what I saw, and there is a taste for this music, and we need different genres. There's a really good selection of different genres this year in the grand final. So kudos to Lithuania. I didn't think they were going to make it through going into it, but their show elevated it, their performance elevated it, and that can make or break it. Again, one small vocal crack, one off time, anything can happen. And UK did have a moment where they were off time. But again, they weren't having to qualify. So if they fixed that for the final, we're good. I don't know if it was an earpiece thing or what, but they kind of were able to work off of each other and get back into it. So, okay. Lithuania, good. Catharsis, again, not my favorite music, but hey, they did it. They pulled it off, and the audience really liked them. So Malta was the one that was a 50-50 in my opinion. A lot of people don't like the crude images on the back, but there's a lot of female power there. And Mariana, in the rehearsals, people were like, oh, she's off and stuff. This woman was a powerhouse vocalist tonight. And one of the things that I think helped it as much as hindered it, this was the one where they really turned up the volume and dimmed out the audience. So you could hear everything that she was doing. And she was just serving vocals. She was serving singing. She was serving cunt, as the Maltese say, for singing. And the audience was too. They were saying cunt, but you couldn't hear them. So EBU, I dislike this. I don't agree with it. I do not agree with it. I agree with the cutting out the boos in some ways, like the amount that happened to Israel last year, because she's a performer, right? And anybody up on stage should not be booed. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with what's going on in the wars ever, but to boo at a performer is just not right either. I've been in that position. I've been booed before. It's not fun. Not for a political thing, just because I was really bad, but it does get to you. So anyway, Malta, Mariana made it through. I knew she would. When I saw the 3-screen thing, I'm like, oh, it's Malta. It's going to be Malta. She did so well. I'm so happy this made it into the final. I'm so glad that she had the Swiss balls there, the yoga balls. I just love her. I think she's amazing. And this song is just phenomenal. And my wish is going into the final that they don't have that audience dampening, but it really helped elevate her vocals this year. I don't know if you guys heard the same thing, but it was different compared to the other songs. You could hear more of the vocal. It's like they turned her up more than the other singers, which helped. But she was great. Immaculate stage performance, immaculate staging, ridiculous. I'm here for it. Eccentric. That's what I love. I love a stage performance. This semifinal is giving us vaudeville. It's giving us theatrical of a lot of different songs. Semifinal one was kind of 70s oriented. This is vaudeville. If I was to say a theme for it, that's what we were getting. So Malta, good job. Georgia, I like the song. I know that the singer has expressed support for Putin, Vladimir Putin, which I don't express. And I'm Russian. I'm of Russian descent. I'm 50% Russian in my family, but I do not support what's going on at all. Politics aside, she sang very well. I was saying, like, Georgia, she's Georgia's. If Anne Hesh and Taya Leone had a child, this would be her. Miriam Shengelia, Freedom. Some people took exception to the fact that the song is called Freedom, and yet she supports what's going on in Russia, allegedly. But I think what got most people is it felt like a disconnect. It felt like a bunch of songs put together. I mean, it was the same kind of a thing with one of the ones in semifinal one. What the hell was it? My God, I'm blanking on it. Why can't I think about it? Give me 1 second here, guys. I have the visual from it here. There it is. Which song was it? Iceland, Poland, Slovenia, Estonia, Ukraine, Sweden, Portugal, Norway, Belgium. It might have been Belgium. Oh, Croatia. That's the one. Everybody felt like it was a bunch of different songs mismatched together. So that's kind of like similar how people felt about this one, I believe. I think Croatia's song was better. I liked it. Like I actually listened to that song. It's on my playlist, my personal one, where Georgia's isn't. But I do like the performance that she did, the way that she delivered it and stuff. So I'm sad for her that she didn't make it through, because I thought her vocals were very, very good, very strong. But I do think because it was televote led specifically, the politics came into it, and Georgia doesn't have the big backing like Israel has. Not saying that that's specifically the reason that Israel got through, because Israel was strong too, and we'll get to that. But just, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know what else to say. But Georgia, I did like the song. After that, we had a break as they were setting up from France, probably because of the big sand thing. Sandra shows the community booths, or commentary booths. And I guess the guy that's been commenting for France for over 30 years, 50 years, 30 years, something like that, is retiring this year. And that's sad. So they did kind of a nice little interview with him. And he said that Mill Street in Ireland was his favorite year. Was that 93? Something like that. It's sad, when you're so deeply ensconced in this and you become like well known with the fandom. Yeah, I don't know. It's like if Graham Norton ever retires from doing the UK commentary. I think Terry Wogan, it was the same thing when he retired from doing it. So, but yeah, I want to be the Canadian representative. I want to be the commentator for Canada when we get in there. I don't know if I would ever have a chance. I'm not very well known, but maybe one day. Okay, after that, we went to France, our second of the big five for tonight. And this song has not been one that I've really cared for. It's got a nice poignantness to it. It is considered a jury bait song, but I think Switzerland's is a lot stronger, especially with the French side of things. The sand element reminded me of what Celine Dion uses when she sings My Heart Will Go On at her concerts in Vegas and stuff. It's got the swirling, same effect, but it's sand instead of water. And Luann was saying that if she gets sand in her mouth, she usually puts it under her tongue. And I don't know if that's just a joke or not, but that, to me, as a singer myself, that would be so annoying. And what if you accidentally swallow it? Oh, I don't know. But it was a risky move, but it looks good. It was cinematic. It worked good, theatrical. So good for France with Mama. And at the end, I'm assuming that was her daughter that said Mama. And so a nice little kind of full circle moment there. Denmark, this one, everybody wanted to qualify. They were so scared that it wasn't going to. It wasn't very high up in the odds to do so. The staging was very minimalistic. The delegation has notoriously not been great with staging, but Cecile sold it. Her vocals were absolutely perfect. The dancing, the minimalistness of it, and the fact that the dancers were fitting in with the blues and pulled like a Australian 2019 kind of thing, like, when they were high on the sticks. But this one, I think they had their feet cemented on the floor, but they bent backwards in ways that the human body probably shouldn't be able to do, and it just looked amazing. However, they pulled it off, and the energy was great. This will probably be the song, if drawn for the first part, that's going to open the semifinal. I really feel that it'll be Denmark or San Marino or Spain. Those are probably my top three guesses to open the grand final. That's what I meant to say, not semifinal. So kudos to Denmark for breaking your non-qualification streak. I'm so happy for you. When did they last qualify? Was it 2019? 2021 was Fire and Flamme. I didn't like that song. 2022 was the K-pop kind of style one with Riley. 2023, or was that the one with Riley? Oh, one of them was Riley. One of them was the girl band that I really liked. I can't remember their name now, but I really liked them, and I really thought that they should have had a chance to qualify. You can try me, da 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 da. I'll never let you go. The show, that one. I really liked that one. And then last year they didn't qualify, but this year they did. So congratulations, Denmark. You're back. We have all the Nordic countries, which is awesome. So congratulations. I'm so excited. We only have one Balkan country, though, and that's Albania. That's, I don't know. It's sad. But anyway, Denmark, I'm so happy. I love this song. It's on my playlist. I'm so glad it went through. I voted for her. So glad. Hallucination, Cecile. Very, very, very good song. Which brings us to the next one, which was the most theatrical of the entire show tonight and the most vaudeville and just serving. But Czechia, Adonis, Kiss Kiss Goodbye, had that interesting male dance break. You don't get that very often, but he missed a timing mark. And as soon as I saw that, just mental note, I was like, oh no, this is going to affect him. And I think that's what it was. Otherwise, his vocals were really, really good. But another one that's in English instead of Czech. What's their language? Is it Czech? And I don't know. I'm sad for him. People were also saying, they're like, oh, we lost the gays. Well, no, I mean, you've got JJ in there. You've got, who else? From semifinal one. I know there's a couple in there as well, too. So no. It had nothing to do with that. I don't think it had anything to do with that. But in this particular case, it was missing the mark. I'm pretty sure, like with the timing. And these are little things that people notice. And it was pretty noticeable. It didn't affect him, though. He continued on like a consummate performer. Like, that's good. That's what you do. Sometimes you can get too much in your head when you mess up, and it really affects the rest of your performance. But he was a professional, and he did it. And he's going to bounce back from this. And I hope that people aren't mean to him. Like Marko as well for Croatia from semifinal one. I really hope that people have stopped coming down on that poor kid. Like, that is mean. He did his best. Everybody did their best, no matter what. Again, same thing I said in my other video. I challenge anybody who's sitting there judging to get up on stage and do this yourself. Like, seriously, if you can do it better than anybody else, great, do it. Show us. Be perfect in front of what? Millions of people watching. Don't make any mistake. If you're going to judge, put your money where your mouth is. Okay. And he reminded me of Panic at the Disco. just a very, very similar vibe. And when I say reminded me of, I'm not necessarily comparing. I'm just saying like that's what it reminds me of a little bit. So very similar kind of showmanship, which he does very, very well. So I'm sad that Czechia didn't make it in. It wasn't one of my personal qualifiers. It's not a song that I listen to a lot, but I can really, really appreciate the stage show, the performance, his vocals. Like he's very, very good. And the dancing was good. You don't get that very often with guys. It's mostly the girls that do the dance breaks and stuff, but very, very well done. Luxembourg. It was going to be Luxembourg or Ireland. Luxembourg was the more polished one. This one it's got a childlike element to it, but then it you build up into more mature kind of stuff. The costume reveal really proved that. It was on point. The whole staging looked like a giant dollhouse. They had France Gall, which I think is her name, from Poupée de Cire, Poupée de Sang on TV in the background, which was a very nice touch. And La Poupée Molesson by Laura Thorne was one I wanted to go through. It's on my playlist. I like it. She did very well. Luxembourg's doing great since their return to the contest. 2 for 2 qualifications. Could it win? I think it could be a top 10. I don't think it'll win though. But very, very well done. Very polished. I'm happy one of the two kind of more kid friendly songs made it through. I wish Ireland was still in there though. I love Like a Party. It's such a fun song. Israel. Again, politics come into this, whether people like it or not. They ran a huge ad campaign. They have the money to do so. This happened last year as well, too. I don't think that the artist was as hated, if I can say that, as last year. Like, when everything was still super, super, super fresh. It's still, like, horrible what's going on. Like, absolutely, any war is terrible. But again, like, it's the artist is up there performing, and she did, if we're looking at just strictly the song and strictly the performance, immaculate. That prop was beautiful, like having the elevation, being able to go up there, and she was like a bird in a cage. And I'm wondering if that was that, like, I thought it was a mistake where her part of her costume got stuck on the cage thing, but maybe that was meant to happen to like a bird stuck in a cage kind of thing. Maybe I'm way off with my interpretation of it, but that's what I saw. An amazing prop. And I think their postcard won me over this. Last time it was one of the other ones because they had the water wheel in it. This one, because of that beautiful water fountain that they don't realize yet belongs to me. From the garden postcard sequence when Yuval was cutting the bushes and stuff like that. So of the postcards, that was my favorite for this one. I'm weird. What could I say? But I'm not surprised that Israel made it in. Even if you put aside the diaspora, the politics of things, like, this was a strong song. If you're looking purely at the song and the performance, one of the standouts of the night for sure. Like, very, very strong. And I didn't hear any booing. There might have been. There was some suspiciously sounding manufactured cheering, perhaps. And I guess something happened during her rehearsal where a family had whistles or something and they were interrupting. I don't know the whole story. But anyway, she pulled it off. Great. Israel's in the grand final. Not surprising. They're there. So, great. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for all of the people that made it through, and I'm happy for all the ones that got to perform and do their best tonight. So, Hazel and Sandra explain how the Big Five works. I don't remember that specifically. Maybe I went to the bathroom at that point too, and I wasn't really paying attention. But the Big Five basically pay the most money to help sustain the contest. It's France, Germany, United Kingdom, Italy, and United Kingdom. Did I say that? United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, and my God. United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, and you guys are probably sitting there going, oh my God, you're ridiculous. And I am. Spain. My favorite song of the Big Five this year. Una diva valiente, poderosa suspira. Yeah. I can't believe I'm forgetting that. Anyways, they pay the most money into the contest and make it possible for, like, countries that can't afford necessarily what the fees would be if they didn't, makes it possible for them to be in there. It'd be nice if Canada could go because I really think we could possibly help and be like a big sixth country for a little while and help it. Like if I won the lottery, I would find a way to do that so that we could help the smaller countries get in there as well too. I think that'd be nice. But anyway, Germany, Aborentina with Baller. Tina's vocals were better. She's been dealing with laryngitis leading up to the show, so I'm glad that she seems to be over it. She might still be saving her voice for the grand final, which is fine. Totally fine. They delivered pretty good. A lot of people were complaining about the vocals a little bit, so it could Germany be the bottom, number 26 at the final? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it'll be a big five country at the bottom this year. I feel like it's going to be San Marino. I don't know. It could be Estonia, but I don't think so. Estonia's got too much of a televote magnet to it. We'll see. Who knows? I don't think anybody thought Norway was going to be the bottom last year, so that was a big surprise. Yeah, Germany, good song, good staging. Having Abor out in the on the stage while Tina was going around the prop, great. And the way they elevated the cello, is it a cello or a violin or something, whatever the stringed instrument was with that neon light, worked really well too. I think it fit in. Okay, and then we had our last two performers, Serbia, Prince with Mila. He did a great job. Vocally, he was very strong. People don't understand the part of him mopping up the floor, though, I guess. Like, that's what they would say. Like, he's being dragged and stuff. There was an issue at the national final where people thought that he snubbed the drag queens that had performed there. That wasn't the case. He was just like, when you win something, you're kind of like in awe, like lost in thought and stuff, and not. Yeah, I've been there. I understand it, but I don't know what he could have really done more to elevate the song. Like, I thought he did pretty well. Vocally, he was pretty much spot on, but I guess the song just didn't resonate enough with people. So that's the only thing I can think of. And then my winner, the closer of the show, Erika Wickman with Ich komme, I'm coming. And if you look up the English translation of those lyrics, literally that's what the song is about. I love her. She didn't need much of her own, like of staging of her own. Like, it was very minimal, but it's like all her. But that woman sells it. She owns that stage. That stage is hers. And that personality, to have that kind of personality as a performer and be able to sell it to the crowd and be the only one on stage and do it, it's an amazing feeling. I've been told I can do it. I don't know. Like, I've done it before in some cases at the conventions that I do. Obviously just conventions, not like full concerts and stuff. But it's fun. You're like an energy vampire. You feed off the crowd, and it's fun. So Erika is my winner this year. I do see a world where Finland could win if the juries especially get split and the televote has a high enough one for Finland. Who knows? Who knows? I don't think it's as clear as people are making it out to be. Will it be Sweden and Austria as the split screen this year? Is Switzerland going to sneak in there and be a surprise winner? Will Albania win for their first time ever? I would love that. I'd love to see a new country win. We don't know. We don't know. Saturday we'll know. All right. At this point, we had the voting period opening up. I voted with the rest of the world after midnight, my time, last night, and again when the voting period opened. I told you who I voted for already. And then we had our first recap while the voting period opened. Then we just they kind of went into the green room. So they were like all over the place. Sorry about my squeaky chair. They weren't following this exact schedule. Like, I actually have there's like a schedule. I know it's hard to see because of the lighting and stuff like that. But going by this, I don't think they followed the exact list. This is kind of the set list. They were all over the place, but it might have been a timing thing. So they were talking to people in the green room. Then they discussed the cancellation of Eurovision 2020, and we got John's Tears from Switzerland with Répondez-moi, The Roop with On Fire from Lithuania, Effendi with Cleopatra, which was my winner for 2020 for Azerbaijan, and Destiny, All My Love from Malta. Now, the interesting thing about this is that these are all contestants that were brought back by their countries in 2021 to perform new songs. So bringing these guys in, I think it was because these were all favorites to possibly win the 2020 contest. But it would have been nice, and maybe they'll do it at the grand final. I don't know. It would have been nice if they would have invited some of the other artists from 2020 who didn't get brought back in 2021. Uno, Little Big. I mean, yes, they're from Russia, but they're living in Los Angeles now. So, But anyway, yeah, it was nice to see their performances. They didn't get to do the full songs. It was like a medley of them, but they still did very, very well. And all of them are looking phenomenal. They really, really are. I think that John's Tears lost some weight. Like, he's looking amazing. The Roop, they had their dance, their really famous dance. Effendi had the most dancers on stage with Cleopatra, and I love it. And then Destiny owns the stage, of course, with her performances too. And then they had all of them together. It was nice to see the class of 2021, or at least some of the members of them, back there. So that was very classy, and I thought that was very, very well done. So thank you for doing that, Switzerland. Then we had our second recap. Then the voting closed. Then there was like a video showcasing 4 Eurovision superfans. I think this might have actually been earlier on, now that I'm thinking about it. But either way, that was cute. It was nice to see that. We had one, Turkey, Malta, and Australia. And there was another one too, guy dressed up like Tommy Cash. But it's just neat that they all got to go there and, you talk to the fans, because I really like the audience interaction that they've been doing like in recent years. It felt really stiff yesterday or on Tuesday, but it's a fun element that I really think does elevate the whole show in general, because you're getting that audience participation in there, especially since they keep dampening out the sound from the audience during their performances. I'm looking at you, EBU. All right. There was the interpretive dance piece on time. That was interesting. When I heard this kid talking all of a sudden, and I'm like, what? And it took me a moment to clue in it was an interpretive dance. I think that one was earlier too. Hazel was in the green room talking to Erika Wickman. Her iconic line, as I mentioned earlier, was, oh, your song is Ich komm. You speak German. Ich komm literally means I'm coming, which is what my husband says when I'm making dinner. Like, oh God. Then they're eating the cheese. And Hazel's like, yeah, we have a tradition here that if the bread falls into the cheese, you have to strip naked and run around. And Erica's like, oh, that's no problem for me. She would have done it. Make no mistake. That woman would have done it if that had happened. So you be very careful, EBU. You be very careful, Hazel, because Erica's down for anything. I mean, come on. Come on. It's funny, though, that they allow that and not cunt. It's a word. Okay, and then the semifinal 1 throwback, because they showed a preview of semifinal 2 and semifinal 1 just before they did the voting, or the announcements. And then they did the opposite, a recap of semifinal 1 winners. Then we had the finalist announcements. And this was spicier than Tuesdays, in my opinion. So I'm one of those people that goes and surfs YouTube and looks at people's reactions. I love it. I do. And I know ESC Tom is going to be gagged. Gabe probably. Gotham probably. The piece around. Who else do I like? Mainly them. I really hope that Novimpia does a reaction video this year. I love them. The drag queens from the UK. Come on, Novimpia. We missed your commentary this year. I just love it. And Luke White. Where's Luke White? He usually does it too. And he's always super positive about it too. So, Oh, and Alicia Michelle. I love watching all these people. And then other random ones too. I love the reactions. I don't know. It's weird, but so many weird ones. So who qualified? Latvia, Armenia, and Austria from the first part. Greece, Lithuania, Malta, from the second part. Denmark, Luxembourg, and Israel from the third part. Interesting. It's just okay. And then from the last part, it was Finland. So yeah, there we go. Those are the 10 people for that. We're going to find out what part of the final they're going to be performing in. I'm sure we'll find that out Friday, maybe later today. I'm not sure. But again, my prediction is that it'll either be Denmark, San Marino, or Spain that opens the grand final. We'll see if I'm right. And closing it, Finland should close it. But actually, I wouldn't be surprised if San Marino closes it. I think Finland, Israel, Austria, Sweden, they're all going to be like in the second half. Like if they get producer's choice, they're all going to be in the second half. But just they tend to do that with the favorites to win. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. And then of course Hazel and Sandra were chatting, closing things out. And then Sandra, who represented Switzerland in 1991, I think she said, sang Insieme 1992, which I think was the Italy song and very well known. And then they ended up. That was it. So great semifinal. Like I said, if we were to choose the theme for it, it was very vaudeville, very theatrical style songs, performances, whereas there was a lot of 70s infusion in the first semifinal. And now we have a great mix of songs into the grand final. I'm very sad that Australia and Ireland did not make it in, but it is what it is. And we're going to see who's going to win the Eurovision Song Contest 2025 on Saturday. So I'm excited for it. I get to watch it live then too, and I will see you guys then. So let me know what you think below.